Hi, I'm Millie from Everything Stained Glass. I was thinking the other day about stained glass and how it's the same as any other passion that people have. Once you've been doing it for years, you come up with lots of different ways of saving money. And I've got quite a few, and I'd like to share 5 with you today, and I hope you find them useful. The first one is a really simple one, and that is that you can use kerosene or sewing machine oil instead of the relatively expensive cutting oil that they sell in stained glass stores. The other thing is that sometimes the barrels of the cutters leak, so instead of that you could use a little jar with a bit of sponge in, and then you can put the lid on and use it as and when needed. The biggest savings to be made when cutting glass are in placing your templates in the right position so that you actually save glass in the cutting. You can see that I've put them pretty randomly here, and there's a lot of wasted glass all around the edges of each shape. If you have a lot of similar sized shapes, you can put them all in a row, choose the strip that you want. If you like that piece of glass over there, put them down that side, and then that would be your first cut down there. So you save 2/3 of that hobby cut before you even start, and then you've got that little nice bit at the end that you can get a decent shape out of. And then when you do the curves, do the inside first, so that is actually one of your cuts, and then do the top side. Remember that you have to go from one edge of the glass to the other to make a successful cut. And doing it this way, you only use about 1/4 of the sheet rather than about 1/2. This is a tip for those annoying little bits of soldering stick that get left that are too hot to handle. And all you need to do is to melt with a flat iron tip, hold it over the two ends and melt the two together so that you make an elongated stick. Hold it over until both ends melt, and then leave it for a few seconds to let it harden, and then you've got a mega stick. So that's one way to use up all those little bits, and you can solder as normal. I'm very excited about showing you this trick about how to make your own rings. They're quite expensive to buy, but all you need to do to make your own is to get some tinned wire. You can do it with copper wire, but it corrodes a bit quicker. And then get something like a dowel or a pencil. That's a fatter one, so depending on the diameter of the ring and how big your piece is and how big you want your rings, you choose what you're going to wrap it around. If you've got something metal, it's really easy to slip it off afterwards, and you just wrap it round. I'm going to make 3 rings here, but I have made up to 10 before. You just keep going round and round. Effectively, I'm making a little tiny spring. When you're satisfied that you're going to have enough rings there, then just cut it off and slide it off. It doesn't slide quite so easy off a pencil, but you can still get it off quite easily. And there you've got the little spring. And then I'll come in on a close-up on this one because you have to cut it with wire cutters. The first one is usually not usable, but if you go along in a straight line, you can see that they're meeting. You have to take care that you cut right at the top so that they all go right the way round. And all you have to do is bang them with a hammer, and it flattens them out, and you've got your rings there. So not only are they cheaper, but you can make them the exact size that you want. It's just a win-win. I find the quite expensive cork back steel rulers that are supposed to be for cutting glass a little bit too shallow. So this is a way to use materials to make your own, both cheaply and better. To show you what I mean about the too shallow, you can see from this that it's just a regular steel rule without anything underneath. It's just A, too slippery, and B, not high enough off the glass to be any good when cutting stained glass. What you need to do is to get those things that stop doors slamming or drawers slamming, clean your ruler, and then just stick them along on the underside of the ruler, and that stops it slipping because they're cushioned, but also it gives you the height that you need. Now if you look at that, you can see that it's off the glass, which means that it's got a stable side for the cutter to go along. And I'll just show you a cut. See how nicely that is? That supports the head of the cutter as you pull it towards you. And there you have the cut. So there's 5 tips that I'm hoping you'll find useful and that save a little bit of money when you're doing stained glass. If you have any tips, if you want to send them to me, that would be absolutely brilliant, and I can share them with everyone else. Okay, bye for now.